Faced with a group of restless young men snowed in at the International Young Men's Christian Association, physical education instructor James Naismith had to think of a new game to distract the boys with. On December 21st, 1891, Naismith had a breakthrough. The first game of basketball was played. He then devised 13 original rules for the game and wrote an article that was distributed to all YMCAs across the country. Ever since, the game of basketball has been a staple of American culture and has increased in popularity every year, especially at the collegiate level.
Jesperson, half-court heave for the win. Jesperson, no!
Court, extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by
Naismith's mission in life was to win men for the master through the gym. Fast break to 100 years later, the National Association of Basketball Coaches hired a new executive director, Jim Haney. When Jim started his role as the executive director of the NABC, the coaches' convention wasn't a family-friendly environment. That was the shift Jim saw in the culture. A game invented with the original intent to be used to win men had inadvertently used men to win a game. Now we all know a burden must give birth to a vision to prevent burnout. Hence, the vision to birth Nation of Coaches, serving coaches spiritually and professionally, ultimately having a vision of coaches serving coaches.
The game of basketball in itself was established and invented to bring young men to Jesus. You look at the state of basketball today, the state of basketball 20 years ago when Jim Haney envisioned this ministry, I would say is so far away. Basketball has become something that we make a living at. Basketball has become something that is about championship trophies. It's about putting up banners. Many times for us as coaches, it's about our next contract. So it's become about money. It's become about livelihood. It's become where everything but what its original intent was. Ultimately, what I love and I think Nations of Coaches created to do was to take back the game and help coaches understand that our legacy is not in a scoreboard. Our legacy is not in a trophy. Our legacy is not in our next contract, and it's not about putting up a next banner. Our legacy is the young men and women we're coaching and what they become 20 and 30 years from now. And I really believe that ultimately Nations of Coaches stepped into a culture day to truly take back a game. I think Jim saw the game through the coach. I think Jim understood that the most influential men in our society today, women in our society today, were coaches. I'll never forget the first time I heard the Billy Graham quote, that one coach will impact more people in a year than an average person will in a lifetime. And everybody loves to use that quote, but they don't use the whole quote, because Dr. Graham said, so who's coaching the coaches? And I think Jim saw, well man, in our profession, the divorce rate was 20% higher than the national average. So we got to do something to come in and support, not just the coach's spiritual profession, we got to pour back in their marriages. And then the third thing that he really instilled and saw and challenged me with is, tell me, what are we going to do with the student athletes' character development? Yeah, we're recruiting these guys. Yeah, we're bringing them to campus and they're amazing and they have amazing God-given talent, but only 1.2% are going to go on and play professionally. Most of them are going to go on and do something else. And he saw, man, that Nations of Coaches could come alongside and help through what today we call character coaches, chaplaincy, put men and women on campus that ultimately are going to pour into the student athlete and help them realize that, hey, one day that round orange ball, it's going to stop bouncing. Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants to win. And that higher level play we're talking about today is, it's not about the banners. It's not about the trophies. It's not about the contracts. It's about the young men. It's who they become. And that one day they come back and go, hey, to their children, this coach gave me the greatest gift anyone could give me. They introduced me to the master coach. They introduced me to Jesus.